Hi everyone, my name is Vasudha. Welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you the books that my son is reading these days. It's still summer vacations in Canada. The summer vacation months are July and August, and schools will be reopening sometime in the first week of September. So I make sure that during holiday time, my son reads as many books as he can. So let's dive in. So let me first show you this huge pile of books that my son is reading, and then I'll show you one by one. Okay, so first and foremost are these Dogman books. Oh my goodness. These many Dogman books. This is basically a comic book and with so many titles, different themes, and my son is simply glued to these. I don't know what it is about these books, but he simply loves to read them. He's literally addicted to these books, and I have never seen him becoming an addict to reading up until he grabbed these books. So I just found out about Dogman from one of the websites which lists out different books for children as per their age group. I will share the link of that website in my description box. So I found out about Dogman from there, and I was lucky that we had these Dogman books in our library as well. So we borrowed them, and the days since these books have arrived, my son has not stopped reading them. He reads them over and over, and he just loves them. And I also have to say, when I emphasize that he's addicted to it, what I mean by it is that the first thing he does in the morning is, of course, after using the washroom, he would just start reading these books. So I mean, he would just start his day by reading these books. Now Dogman also has another character apparently, which is Cat Kid. So thankfully there is only one book of Cat Kid, but all the books of Dogman have been read over and over by my son. So you might want to share it with your children also if they are in the age group of 6 to 9 years, but I would give you a warning as a parent. It has some toilet humor. So if you are comfortable with a lot of poop and pee words, if your children are comfortable with those words, then this is the book for them. They would love it. Now you can guess why my kid loves it so much. He just enjoys this kind of humor. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 titles in the Dogman series which he enjoys to read. And the next one is Nat Geo books on jokes and riddles. So we have a lot of animal riddles, we have a lot of jokes over here, we have this one here as well, which is, I think, not on humor, not on jokes, but this has some facts. So they have even these miniature fact book collections on oceans and different other themes. So this is another thing that he enjoys reading. He loves to read riddles and he loves to joke around with us. I've told you about his humor just now. Then another one is this, again, a comic book, Kung Pao Chicken. Okay, now this is another book which I selected for him. So most of the books I select for him, but when I used to take him to the library with me earlier before the pandemic, I used to ask him to also look for books for himself. So this is a very good way in which you can develop your child's interest in reading if you permit them, if you allow them to choose books for themselves. And I have mentioned this in one of my previous videos as well, but because I'm ordering the books online these days, so I generally do it myself. I know his interest pretty much, and now I know that he is liking the whole Dogman series, so I picked up another comic for him. He hasn't read it yet, because he's still not over Dogman. He doesn't allow us to return the Dogman books. Okay, so there is another book here, the Stick Dog series. Again, this is, I think, a good way to start chapter books for your children. It has some pictures. Maybe your child will like it, maybe they won't, but it's always good to try, especially when your kids are transitioning from one level to another. It's very important to be persistent and to help them try different types of books. So this is another one. Now this is the Rainbow Fish, and again it's a very beautiful story of kindness. It's more like being kind to others, not being selfish, and so on and so forth. So this is one book that we read, and these are all books which I have borrowed from the library. None of this is my collection. Our bookshelf is already full. I have shown you most of the books which we read in my previous videos, the ones which I purchased from Amazon India. Now we are reading these books from the library. Okay, now this book I would highly recommend to children of 7 to 8 years, or maybe 6 to 8 years of age group. This is an excellent book. It has many questions and they are so easily explained. The book is very simple in its language, very simplistic explanations, but at the same time retaining the main content of the themes. So if there is a question about how does the moon affect the tides of the sea, so they will explain the whole process, but they would do that very simplistically, and at the same time they would make sure that all the keywords are there and that children learn everything in there. So like that, there are a lot of other questions in this book, and I would highly recommend if you can grab a copy of this book for your kids. Then another one is this Amelia Bedelia series. I have again discovered it online from some website. I will share the link of that website with you. Again, this has more text, less of pictures, but for 7 years and above, I would say that children can use these books to transition from one level to another. Then my husband picked up this one on, again, a comic. It's called Drew and Jot, and because we have discovered his interest in comic books, so we are now trying and experimenting with different comic books. Now this one, again, highly I recommend this book. It's Wangari's Trees of Peace. Now this book is about Wangari Maathai, and we all know that she is an environmentalist from Kenya, and she was the brain behind the whole Green Belt movement back in Kenya in 1970s. And please make sure your children read this book. They at least should be familiar with Wangari Maathai's work. And I have another book on Wangari Maathai, and this one is very, very beautifully illustrated, and I like this one more than the previous one because of its very beautiful and very colorful illustrations, and also because this one is in much more detail. So please educate your children about Wangari Maathai, about the whole climate change crisis that we are facing, and we need more people like her. And this one has very little information, so it could be good for, I would say, 5 to 6 years of age group, but nevertheless this is also good. Next is this Magic School Bus. I haven't arranged these books in any particular order, so whatever random fashion they have been kept on our table, I'm just sharing them with you in that manner. So this is more detailed, and this Magic School Bus book also has many other titles. So this one is about human evolution, and this one is very detailed. We are yet to explore this one. And the Magic School Bus apparently is also a cartoon or an animated program on Netflix. I'm not sure, but I think I saw something like that on Netflix. Again, one more book by this Kung Pao chicken. Not read it as yet. Now Lulu and the Brontosaurus. Again, these are books, like I said, which are transition books, more text and less pictures. So we are yet to read this one. We also have Rabbit and Robot, The Sleepover. Again, this is to be read. Like I said, my son has not overcome the whole Dogman fever. So we are yet to explore many of these books. Same way, this is Wondrous Rex, and more text, less pictures. But these are books which I would recommend that you read with your children, because sometimes children can get overwhelmed with more text, especially when they are moving on to chapter books, so they might not find it interesting. I don't have one book here with me right now, but it's the Mercy Watson book, and I would highly recommend it. The Mercy Watson series is extremely funny, humorous, and those are chapter books with, I would say, decent amount of photos in them, and they're all colored photos as well. So please go for that one if you want your child to pick up chapter books. Then this one is the Wing Brothers and Math Spectacular. I just picked it up randomly online from the library, but this is, I think, for smaller kids, maybe 4 to 5 years of age group, and it has some maths questions, problems over there. Then we have Spend It. This is another book on maths, apparently counting, perhaps. We are yet to explore it, but yeah, this is something which your child can always revise before going to school in the new grade. This book I found very interesting, Where Do My Clothes Come From? So this book explains the whole history of clothing. It explains how machines were made and how the whole stitching process came into being, and so many other things, and different fabrics from different parts of the world. So this is an interesting non-fiction book. And lastly, in our bundle, we also have this Animal Atlas. Okay, this is a huge one, and I would highly recommend you all to read this, because it covers all the continents. It covers the different species found on different continents and their peculiar features. And there are so many birds and animals which I'm not even aware of whether they exist, they don't exist. Some names are so new even to me. So this is one book I would really recommend for your children from the age group of even 5 years upwards, 5 to easily 9 years. Then there is this one more book which my husband picked up from the library. Now this is part of the summer reading program. Now in Canada, every summer, because children are out of school during summertime, during the summer vacation, the Canadian government makes sure that children continue reading, because these 2 months of summer break can be a dry spell for your children in terms of their reading habit, and they find it very difficult to cope up with reading and reading comprehension and things like that in their new grade. So every summer there is a summer reading club for children. So children get access to a reading package kind of a thing. So they have like stickers, they have a little booklet to track their reading, and so on and so forth. So this book was complimentary in the package apparently. And Robert Munsch's books, as we all know, are very, very popular with children, and Robert Munsch is a Canadian author himself, so it makes it even more special for children over here to read Robert Munsch's books. So this is another book, and this is a very good initiative. I would say that children should continue reading in the summertime, track their reading progress, and be prepared for the next grade. Now lastly, I'm going to show you one packet of books again from the library. This is another pack of books which the Toronto Library offers for children of different age groups. And as it says over here, these are also summer reading packages. So the age group is mentioned here and the theme is also mentioned here. So these books are arranged thematically, and in this collection we have books related to environment and climate change. So this came in a pack of 5 books, and each one of them is environment related. So this one is How to Help the Earth by Lorax. This is one book. I'm just quickly showing the books which are in this pack. Then this one is Earth Squad. So my husband got these books just yesterday evening, so we haven't started reading all of them obviously, but one of the books we did start reading. This one particularly has all the important figures related to environment, the individuals who helped to protect the environment in their own ways. So that's another one. Then this is the one which my son started reading, and this is a book of endangered animals. Then next we have over here is On Our Nature Walk, our first talk about impact on the environment. So these are really important themes for our children to know, and we need to discuss these themes with our kids because the future lies with them, but at the same time we in the present generation also have this responsibility to educate our children about environment. Finally, in this collection we have the DK book of climate change, finding out the different fun facts and quizzes and so on and so forth. So this is a good, I would say, collection of books on this particular theme. So that's that, and I hope that you enjoyed this whole collection of ours from Dogman to climate change. And if you liked any of the books, or if you want your children to read any of the books, please comment in the comment section below. Also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to watch more such videos about children's books, then please mention that also in the comment section. Until my next video, thank you and bye.